Hello and welcome to Loving Me, Myself, and Life with me, Jody Misiak. Today I want to talk about something that I always have to be aware of myself is when I need to take a mental break. So I've talked before about taking a mini me retreat, and it's kind of similar, but at the same time it can even just be a 5 to 10 minute break. Life can get chaotic. For me, I have 2 young kids, and with summer and the summer break and things like that, these can be really handy things to remember. And I'll have to remind myself personally too, because, even as a coach, as an empowerment coach, it's not like, I'm immune from feeling emotions or from having, more healing to do or just all this stuff. I have the tools, but I still have to use them, and I still need support myself and things like that. So I just wanted to share today that it is so important to allow yourself to take a mental break if you need it. If you're feeling stressed out or overwhelmed or just, again, off, like I've mentioned before about not feeling right, just taking a mental break. So some things that I remind my clients of when I work with them one-on-one is, through the healing, I'm helping them heal, and then life can go crazy. It's allowing yourself to take mental breaks. So that could be like just taking a break from the healing process, from just life in general. When I take a mental break, it usually is a lot of unplugging, a lot of unscreen, like email, social media, even text messages. Like sometimes I put my phone away. Like that's sometimes how I take a mental break. And it's a lot like a mini retreat. But at the same time, it's just like, it can be a 5-10 minutes. So it could just be going out for a little walk. We'll walk around the block, or just even looking out the window for a couple minutes and just taking in whatever it is, you can see, and just taking your mind off of whatever's going on right now. And there's a lot going on, like in life in general, there's a lot going on, but I've definitely had to use this a lot, and it's being aware of it. Like if you're just feeling stressed out, this actually happened a lot when I worked in a warehouse too, way back over a decade ago now. I would get even stressed out, just like it might have been something that was going on personally, or even, in work environments, sometimes there's gossip, or you'd hear different conversations, or something would get me down. And even then I would just go to the bathroom and take a mental break. Didn't have to go to the washroom, just go and sit there for 5 minutes. Just take a break for myself. And it's just like a mental break. And it can be from like when you're with too many people, like being an extrovert, but also being like introvert, extrovert. I definitely need to be mindful of just me in general, my energy, my space, what's going on for me. Like, is it too much one way or the other? Like, it's a really fun little thing to be mindful of. So taking a mental break is totally cool. And actually, I think it was just over a year and maybe a half ago now, I was doing this really cool thing. Life kind of got happening, so it didn't really catch on. And I was trying to do it weekly on my Facebook page and things, but it was like, take 5. So it was actually, not this past December, but the December before. I was really on this like fun, like take 5. And really what it was is take 5 for you. So go for a walk, stretch your legs, take a moment to focus on your breath. And it really is like, it's a mental break. Get up from the screen and things like that. I always try to remind my husband too, when he's working in front of a computer all the time, it's like, take a little break. Like even if it's a little trip to the washroom, or stretch your legs, or little things. It's so important that we take mental breaks in every area of our, anytime. And I'm going to probably have it on Post-its for the summer. When summer break, it's like, I need to take a mental break. Just me going off by myself for like 5 minutes, 10 minutes, whatever it is. Maybe you need more. Maybe 5 is not enough. I just found that I've had to really change up how my self-care looks, how all my self-love practices look this year, and being gentle with myself when I'm not doing them consistently, because life has not been very consistent. So I just, give myself a little grace and some love. And I used to have a really cool morning roundup routine that I did. And that took me like 20 minutes, a half hour, even to an hour sometimes if I go really deep into a workout too and journaling and things like that. I had a really solid routine. And then school's closed and daycare's closed and I had my both kids home. So I've had to really shift it. So my self-care and even my self-love practice is in like the bite-sized pieces now, not like in full large amounts. So it looks different. So everybody's things can look different. Like maybe you still have a lot of time on your own that you can really just focus on you. And I know a lot of people do not. So it's just figuring out how you can have like little mental breaks where it's just a time to like not worry about what's going on in the world. Anything, like not even worrying about like your kids and things like that. Like kids are constantly growing. So it's like, I have all these things. It's like, oh, they need new shoes or whatever. So it's like taking a break from your parent, your mama to-do list or life in general's to-do list and just taking a mental break from the world, from life, challenges, all that fun things, like things. So it can be like meditation. Journaling's good. I just don't know if it's very much a mental break because you're really taking it. But like if you're doing like a mental dump, like where you're just writing, you're writing your feelings, you're writing whatever is coming out. Maybe for you that is a good mental break. My personal ones are going for a walk and just taking in my sights, sitting on a log along the beach and just observing my surroundings, taking things in, letting the sun shine on my face. Laying in bed in the morning, I used to love how to wake up for that, but my kids have very much not allowing me to do that these days. It's very much like, Mommy, we're starting the day, and boom. So I have to be very finding my own different times to wake up or just appreciate the start to the day. So it's whatever working for you, but know that it's okay if you need a mental break, if you need to put your phone away for a while, if you need to not respond back to an email or a text or even social media things. Like you don't need to respond instantly if you don't want to, if you don't have the energy or like you just can't find it in yourself to do it right now. Take a break. Allow yourself to just be for a minute. It doesn't have to be hours or a day or a week or a month. Just allow yourself to breathe, to be in that moment and be okay, like just being. And it can be challenging if you've been on go, go, go all this time. To slow down can feel really weird or uncomfortable. But it's within the uncomfortable that we really do grow. And if you are feeling stressed out and stuff, know that it's okay to just take a break for a minute. A mental break from everything. And again, that looks different for so many people. Walking is a really good one for, like I said, walking is a really good one for me, or even just sitting outside in nature. And in all honesty, like I've actually taken mental breaks where they've lasted quite, like it could be in essence, I guess, right? Because I do need to take care of my son and my daughter and things like that. And I am a parent and I do have responsibilities. And, my husband is working sometimes, so it is a lot of the time, really. So it's finding a balance, right? But so I can let go of the things like not checking email all the time, not feeling attached to my phone, social media, all that stuff. I can let that go. I can just be. And obviously, but I could do days of that, right? So when it used to be where I could just take one day, my kids would be at school and daycare and I could just really go deep. I'm not doing that anymore. I'm taking little breaks, little here's and there's. So everybody's mental breaks might they will look different. Your life will look different than mine, and that's totally cool. We are all very unique personally, and our lives are also very unique as well. So it's just allowing yourself though to take those breaks. And for me this past week when I was really, going inward and things like that, I had to remind myself that it was okay. That was okay to go inward or just to be for a while, that I didn't have to always be doing, or that I always had to be like on and showing up and things like that. I had to remind myself that it was okay to take a break. When, life feels stressful or overwhelming, it's going back to the tools and just allowing yourself to breathe and just take a break, because it's okay to take a break when you need it. And like I said, my breaks are a lot shorter than they used to be. So just getting creative in that aspect. Some of the time I take my break with my son. It's like I go for a walk with him. So I'm getting out in nature. I'm moving my body. So I'm just, relieving stress in beautiful ways, taking in nature and taking in some amazing fresh air. And at the same time, still spending time with my son. So there are ways to be a parent and still take a break, where your mind gets to relax, gets to be, but still, doing those responsibilities as we have, So like if you're like me, where you don't really just have anywhere to just kind of, you don't have the daycare, maybe grandparents or family nearby to take care of your kids. There's unique ways of doing that. So, yeah, it's important to take care of our minds, because our minds control a lot more than we think they do, right? So I think I've talked about this with other things with emotions. If we hold them in our body, they can show up and manifest in different areas of our body. Well, if our minds don't get a break, if they get overwhelmed, they don't function well. Have you ever felt it where, like, I know for me personally, I've had it where you're just so stressed out or so overwhelmed, or you just haven't got a good night's sleep, and your brain can't retain the information that it usually can. Like maybe you're reading and you're just not absorbing any information. You're not taking it in. Our brains need a break. Our minds need a break. Our bodies, even, we've talked about body before. Our bodies need a break. So it makes sense that it's important to take a mental break too. When the outside world is too much, or life is, a lot going on, it's definitely time to take a mental break from everything, even if it's just 5 minutes. So, look inward, see when you need to take a break. Even listening to podcasts like this is also a good way to have a break, as long as they're feeding your soul. And what I mean by that is there's a million different kinds of podcasts out there. And if they're political, or even just like very like life event kind of things, like if you're absorbing information that is not feeding your soul, doesn't get you motivated, but is really draining you, like it can be talk about just different things going on, worldly events. And they can be educational. So I'm not dissing them at all, by all means. But when it's a mental break, I'm just talking about it needs to be feeding your soul, right? It needs to be uplifting, giving you energy, not draining it. And if for an example for this, for me is, I find my energy is lower when I'm reading articles about news-related articles. Because normally the news isn't all that positive. Like, yes, there are some positive ones, but a lot of the time I'm just looking at things like, oh, what's going on in the world kind of thing. And if I spend too much time reading it, I feel my energy draining. So that's all I mean by that. So definitely enjoy, listen to anything you want. I'm not here to tell you what not to listen to things. As a mental break perspective, just be mindful of if it's filling you up or if it's stressing you out. And that's a really big indicator if it's, a good mental break, or if it's, something else. So I know for me personally, I've had to be very mindful of myself with reading the news articles online and things like that. I actually stay away from videos. I just read. It's a personal preference for me, because I take in other people's emotions, and I take in news pretty deeply. And for some reason, video I take in more because I'm hearing it from something. It's in somebody else's voice. The news and the information hits me harder and stresses me out more than if I just read it. And in all honesty, reading, then I can just skim through it. So it's like anything in life, a mental break, like taking a mental break. I'm not talking about a breakdown, but a mental break, like just taking a time to relax your brain, your mental space, and just, it's like opening your windows in spring. They've been shut down maybe for a long time, like shut and closed, and spring comes and you air it out your house. A mental break, just kind of, fresh air in your mental space, right? It just kind of gives you a light, airy, refreshing feeling. So if you need one of those, just take a little break, a little breathe it. Like, it literally could just be focusing on your breath for a minute. Like just feels so good to take a mental break. Any time in life, but I felt that I've had to do it more and for longer. Maybe because I forget. I honestly haven't been using my tools as consistently as I would have before everything. So again, it's just letting you know that I'm not perfect. I'm definitely not perfect. And I don't want to come about saying that I'm perfect. Even as an empowerment coach, like I need to be very mindful of when I feel depressed or unmotivated or just foggy or just not myself. It's time to look inward or taking a mental break. So if you felt exhausted or overwhelmed or any of those things, like just not feeling your best, you're not alone. I have to also be mindful of things as well. But doing this podcast, I have to be honest, like it fills me up hardcore. Like I just love it. So I hope all my listeners out there, you're enjoying it as well as I really enjoy sharing and trying to inspire and things like that. So I really hope that it helps. I know just sharing and doing this for me also fills up my cup. So I love it so much and I really want to continue doing it. And I just hope that it is something that hopefully is helping you as well in some shape or form. And, just sending you so much love because, that means so much to me, helping others and spreading the love. I hope you have a beautiful, beautiful day. Bye for now.